I'm gonna toss out two words, and if you don't know what they mean, I can tell exactly how old you aren't. What comes to mind when I say Sears catalog? Now, those of you with the blank stare on your face, you're definitely under 20. But all of you grinning geezers, remember the joys of paging through that 2-inch thick book to buy a sweater that you wore at least once a week during 7th grade. Times have totes changed. The history of buying with a click started with the page flick. See, I threw in totes so all of you under 20 would understand something that I just said. Some of you were brought up in an era where to shop from home means this: click and pay. And delivery to your door, a given. But once upon a time, shopping from home was more like reading a giant paper menu. In it, you could find everything from plumbing parts to furniture to the kitchen sink.
Farmers would buy agricultural tools and equipment. They might get a farm wagon by mail order. You could get paint. You could get wallpaper, carpeting, curtains.
No big deal? Well, for people living in rural areas, that was just about the best you could do. The advent of the catalog opened new doors because until then, there was just one. It was the door to the general store. Jeanie Miller met me at J.R. Jones in Greenfield Village.
Let's take a look at the goods that were available to rural consumers at the turn of the century.
You know, I loved catalogs as a kid. When do we first start seeing catalogs?
Well, people are shopping by mail by the 19th century, certainly by the time of the Civil War. But it isn't until the 1870s that mail order catalogs really have an impact. And that is with the Montgomery Ward catalog.
Who was Aaron Montgomery?
Aaron Montgomery Ward was an entrepreneur who put out the very first general merchandise catalog. It was really the first kind of modern mail order catalog in that sense. In 1900, Montgomery Ward had a 1,200-page catalog with thousands of items and even like 17,000 illustrations.
I see Montgomery Ward, and then I see another very famous name.
If Montgomery Ward was the pioneer, Sears soon became the front runner of the catalog.
I always imagined that these catalogs started from actual brick and mortar stores, so that there was a Montgomery Ward department store before there was a catalog.
Actually, for Montgomery Ward and Sears, it's the other way around. The catalogs came first.
This markedly improved life for rural Americans.
It did. It gave them a lot more of what they might have considered luxuries before. City people had had access to home delivery since 1863. Rural people are still having to come into town for 30 more years.
Brick and mortar stores had and have something that these catalogs don't, though.
They did. They had that very personal relationship, and the storekeeper is a member of that community.
In a 1,200-page catalog, you'd think there'd be some place where you could order a storekeeper.